Hi guys, Ink with Fink, Haley Fink here. I am back at it again today with the April 2023 paper pumpkin. I am wanting to make another set of 12 by 12 pages so that you feel like you really get your money worth. 4 pages of scrapbooking with just this one kit. Today, this is what I'm hoping to play with because I love it the most from the kit. I have all these leftover envelopes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 leftover envelopes that I'm wanting to play with. Look at the fun pattern there. 2 different patterns. I have one of each of those card bases to play with. 2 of these pop out leaf things. Not sure what I'm gonna do yet. Obviously all the stamps. My shaded spruce ink spot. My 2 different colors of twine, Calypso Coral and Basic Black. And then I have these pieces. I'm not sure if I'll end up using them. Oh, sorry, I have 9 envelopes. Here's the other one. I knew there was one more. And then I have some really beautiful pictures printed off. So I actually got an 8 by 8 photo of me, my mom, and my daughter Valerie when we were out for brunch on Mother's Day of 2022. And I picked these pictures because I felt like, look at the colors in the background. It's just going to go so beautifully with the leftovers that I have from the paper pumpkin. And then I printed off 6 more photos. So I have this photo of my dad and my son when he was still so little. My mom and Val. Me, my husband, my daughter, and my son. And then I printed off wallet photos. I have these 3 candid photos. So here's one of them. Here's another one. And here's the third. So that's what I'm talking about when I talk about wallet photos. They are more expensive, but there's always a coupon code at Walgreens. So I always end up getting like half off. Yay. So let's see what I come up with. I start with 2 pieces of 12 by 12 Whisper White for my background. So I usually start my project by laying everything out in the format that I think I want it. And what I will say about that is most times it does not end up this way, but that's where I start just to give you an idea. I cut a piece of basic black into an 8.5 by 8.5 square to map my picture. And then I cut an envelope flap into a 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 inch square, as well as this petal pink card front. I decided I wanted just a little bit more detail on my background page, so I used the Balmy Blue Stampin' blend to just do some splattering in 2 of my corners here. I forgot to show you cutting out and punching out the leaves, but here I am cutting out the shaded spruce 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 inch square for the background of that one. Then I am using my shaded spruce ink spot to stamp the words "Celebrate Today" and then do some fussy cutting, as my mom calls it, to cut those words out. Then I cut those 2 different patterns of the envelope in half because I wanted to combine them together for a little bit more interest. After that, I grabbed the flower stamp and used my Calypso Coral ink pad to stamp 3 different flowers. And yet again, I wasn't feeling satisfied with the background of my paper, so I used a Calypso Coral Stampin' blend to do some more speckling. Make sure you're using the long end and just the end of the cap. So here's where I'm at so far. I'm really liking it. I added that flower strip to the bottom left corner of my picture and a circle punch out from the kit. And here I am gluing it down, and then I put my picture up on dimensionals in the end because I liked the look of it popping a little bit more. I felt like the upper right corner of my picture needed just a little something, so I used my shaded spruce ink spot and the branches to stamp 2 branches where I knew my upper right corner would be going. Now time to assemble all the little squares. I used a lot of dimensionals here. I put them all on 2x2 squares of balmy blue paper, and I put dimensionals on that petal pink piece, and then I glued on a strip of Calypso coral dots that came with the kit. Then I glued on this white banner that came with the kit. I put on dimensionals those words "Celebrate Today" that I fussy cut it out. Here I am putting on dimensionals the blue pieces, again 2 different patterns made out of the envelope paper from the kit. And then I attached those flowers using dimensionals. Then I added dimensionals to the back of that 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 leaf cutout and mounted it on the 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 shaded spruce, then glued that to a 2x2 of balmy blue. Then I felt like it still needed a little more interest, so I added some of that Calypso coral twine with Scotch tape, just in this funky pattern to be seen behind my picture once I put it on there. And voila, there it is. I love it so much. Here's a close-up of the details. There's so much going on, but just enough, right? Oh, can't forget my embellishments, so I added a few of those. Now on to page 2. I began by cutting apart my wallet so that I had individual pictures to use. And then you will need an additional 12 by 12 piece of basic black paper to serve as our background for all of these gorgeous photos. That piece of black is 8 3/4 by 12, and then I mounted my pictures on it, went over to my computer, typed up some journaling, printed it off, and then I ended up tearing the Calypso coral to fit in that spot and glued it in. It was at this point that my memory on my phone was full and I didn't realize it stopped recording, so let me tell you a little bit more about those second pages. I used a Calypso coral marker and balmy blue marker like I did on the first page to do some speckling in the background. Then I cut out some leaves individually to put in the upper left corner and on the right side. And that strip of flowers in Calypso coral I glued down below. I put my black background on dimensionals again to make it pop and just add some embellishments around it, as well as the Calypso coral circles that are in the upper left corner by those leaves. Now, if you're wondering what I chose to journal on this page, it was from a year ago, so I don't remember a ton of details. So I just did the who, what, where, when, and why. Wow, you guys, 4 pages from the April 2023 paper pumpkin. I love how they turned out. What an awesome kit. If you loved it too and want to make some, order a paper pumpkin from me.